During the delivery of 2 mobile elevating work platforms to a manufacturing facility in England, a delivery driver fractured their ankle while manoeuvring a scissor lift in pedestrian control mode. Pedestrian control is the term used when the operator uses the platform controls from the ground, walking alongside the machine, typically used where there's a risk of crushing from overhead hazards. In this video reconstruction, we'll show the sequence of events that led to the incident, highlight the key learning points, and outline the actions needed to prevent this type of incident in the future. Now let's take a closer look at what happened. A mobile elevating work platform rental company delivery vehicle arrived at a manufacturing facility carrying 2 machines, a mobile boom and a mobile vertical scissor lift. The driver parked near the delivery's gate and was instructed by a site representative to unload both mobile elevating work platforms in that area. The driver then proceeded to unload the machines. The driver was instructed to move both machines to another location around 80 meters away. The mobile boom was relocated without incident. However, while repositioning the scissor lift, the driver walked alongside the machine. As a forklift passed in front of him, his attention was briefly distracted. In that moment, he accidentally adjusted the steering, turning the lift toward himself. The scissor lift struck him, trapping his foot and ankle beneath the machine. Now we will examine the lessons learnt from the incident. The mobile elevating work platform involved was a 3A mobile vertical lift, a narrow deck scissor lift. These machines may be fitted with detachable controls and can be operated in pedestrian mode. This is only intended for situations where operating from the platform would be unsafe, such as a risk of crushing from low overhead ceilings or steel beams, or uneven ground causing a risk of overturning. In this case, ground conditions were good and there were no overhead obstructions. The scissor lift should have been operated from the platform. If a scissor lift is ever operated from outside the platform, the operator must keep a safe distance from the machine. The key learning outcomes of this incident are: the delivery driver shouldn't have maneuvered the scissor lift in pedestrian control mode, as there were no risks of overhead crushing on the site. There was no need to maneuver the mobile elevating work platform using the pedestrian controls, and the driver wasn't continuously observing the scissor and stood too close to it. The site was busy, with 2 forklifts operating nearby. The driver was distracted and not fully focused on moving the mobile elevating work platform. Let's look at how this task should have been performed. We can separate this into 2 different categories: planning and operation. There was a pre-arranged area for the delivery and unloading of the mobile elevating work platforms, but the driver was told to move elsewhere. He should have walked the route and established the best way to move the machines, which was to be in the platform. If the driver had concerns for safety, he should have stopped work and reported the situation to his manager. Additionally, the customer should have supervised the activity, as it was their premises and therefore under their control. The delivery driver was trained and held an IPAF 3A and 3B license. He should not have used the scissor lift in pedestrian control mode, as there were no overhead crush hazards identified on the designated route to the alternative unload area. He should have followed company procedures and either driven the scissor lift from the platform controls position or loaded both mobile elevating work platforms back onto the delivery vehicle and driven to the correct unload area. Additionally, a dynamic risk assessment should have been performed. The driver should have identified that there was equipment operating in the unload area, and this should have been reported to the site owner. This incident could have been prevented by proper planning and following good practice guidance and company procedures. For more information on the safe use of mobile elevating work platforms when using pedestrian controls, please visit IPAF's online resource library.